Okay. Hey friends, welcome back. Let's take I just did a video and basically I was waiting on my sisters to arrive. It was my birthday this week. It was basically my birthday this month. Celebrating all month. You know, the older I get, the bigger the celebration or the longer that I celebrate. So anyway, this is basically going to be all about the makeup tutorial for this look. And yeah, so they've been waiting for me for a while, so now it's time to go out to eat, get some drinks, and just have fun. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Alright, starting off, one of the most important things to do is moisturize. So I'm using a sample that I received from Sephora, which is their instant moisturizer. And I'm just rubbing that all over, and I'm even following down to my neck here. And then on to priming, I'm using the Becca Evermatte Pore Perfecting Primer. And I'm using that across my forehead because that will become shiny throughout the day, along my nose and chin. So I'm focusing on the T-zone areas, which is my oily zone. And then I'm going to use the Monostat Complete Care Chafing Relief Gel, whatever. So I'm using it on the rest of the face. And it's really, really helpful to, because my skin is peeling right now, so it's really going to smooth that and give me a really, really good base. Okay, so I'm using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Medium Deep, and I am actually packing that powder in with this Sigma Flat flat kabuki brush. And then I'm packing it in, focusing on the oily areas, making sure that is really, really packed in with powder. I'm going back with the Becca Triacle Ultimate Concealer, and I'm just going to cover certain spots. It's more of an orangey tint, so it is really awesome for basically correcting because of the tint. And this stuff is so thick, I mean, it covers. Now I'm actually going back with that flat kabuki, and then I'm patting that in. There's still some powder left on it, so it's really going to help so it does not budge with the different layers of liquid and creams that we're going to be using. I'm using the Melanie Mills Gleam. This is, I forgot which one this is. I think this is the deep bronze. But anyway, this is the darkest shade, and I am actually going all over my skin. And this can be really, really awesome to use on your body, like your legs, arms, things like that, just to give you like a awesome summer glow. But it is also really, really good to just give you a nice glow underneath your foundation. So really helpful in the wintertime, just to give you a nice glow. Alright, I'm mixing the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation, number 66 in that, and the NARS All Day Luminous foundation, and that I'm in, I forgot which, Makeko. Yep, Makeko. That's the one I'm in. Alright, so I'm mixing those together. And just applying that, and it's kind of like, a push and pull method of applying that. You really don't want to budge your previous layers, and it helps because that powder underneath is really soaking up that foundation. And I'm telling you, it is awesome. I love this, and it just allows your face to be flawless all day. I kid you not, this method is amazing. Alright, so I previously did my brows. I didn't include that clip because it was kind of really getting long. So I'm just going back and shaping those up with some concealer. And I'm using the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC45. Alright, and now it's time to contour here. So I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the medium cream contour kit. I actually purchased this from Ulta. I believe it's in Sephora as well, and you can probably find it in some other places, including the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. And I'm using the Zoeva Concealer Buffer Brush to apply that and kind of buff that out. Alright, and I will be bringing you guys a video on contouring. That is coming up really soon. I will try to get that done this week. And I'm just going to, I'm excited about it. So I'm just going to do it a different way now that I've got a little bit more experience filming, getting better and better. So I just got to carve out the time just to make sure, you know, because as I rush, I make mistakes. So I just want to make sure that I bring you guys a really, really good video. All right, so I'm using the, what is this, Real Techniques sponge, and just going to kind of pat that, what do you call, cream in, and just smooth it out. All right, and then I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and I'm using the Real Techniques setting brush to apply that. And instead of like leaving it on to bake, I don't really do that. I like to swirl it into the foundation or in the concealer. So I'll just really swirl it in, and it works well. So it doesn't have any creases or anything like that. I just want to make sure I get it all. Alright, into contouring, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Espresso and Havana, like my favorite to really contour with. And so I went along my forehead and my hairline, and now I'm kind of carving out those cheeks and want to really get a slimmer look to my face, and just really buffing that out. I don't really want to do a straight line, but just really swirling that in and buffing that out. Okay, and then I'm going underneath my neck to really, I'm sorry, I'm like talking to my sisters and everything and looking at my sister's new dog. Okay, and then for the nose, I'm using the Havana along my nose, and I really have a flat nose. I really don't have a lot of cartilage, so I really want to kind of go in and give myself like a line along the nose, just to really make sure that that lighter concealer along the nose pops, because it really stands out and it gives me a shape to my nose. And then I'm smoothing it out with my fingers because I don't want it really be like a straight line. All right, and then I'm using the COVERGIRL Queen Bronzer, and I will post the name of that up here. All right, and I'm just going along those other areas, like along my forehead and the cheeks. All right, moving on to the eyes, I'm using the MAC Painterly Paint Pot and just smoothing that over my eyelids and kind of like in the transition area. I'm starting off with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Morocco eyeshadow, and then I'm using that as a transition, so it's really going to go from the crease underneath the brow bone. I don't really want to take it up too high. I really want to leave it underneath the brow bone there, but just kind of smoothing that along with this Zoeva blending brush, packing on a little bit more color at a time. I don't want it to be crazy bold and vivid, but I definitely want to tell that it's there. So just really kind of blending that out and kind of packing along color as we go. All right, and then I'm using the MAC Embark eyeshadow, and that is a deep brown, like with red undertones. So I'll be using that, and it's going to be focusing on like the outer corner. So I'm kind of putting it a little bit in the crease, but really focusing on that outer corner to give it a really good gradiating effect. And you can see I'm kind of like pushing that into that little outer V and then blending it out. And the key is to blend, blend, blend. All right, I'm using the Too Faced glitter glue and just kind of going over the lid with that. And then for pigment, I'm using the Makeup Geek Insomnia. Really beautiful. I absolutely love this. So I'm just kind of packing that on here with the glitter glue. And then I sprayed my setting spray on the brush as well, and packing that on a little bit more. All right, I'm going back with the embark and the outer V. And I didn't include this in here, but I used the Morocco along the underneath my eye, and then focusing on the lash line, I used the embark. And now for the eyeliner, I'm using the MAC 290 brush. Absolutely love this brush for lining the eyes. I kid you not, I absolutely love this. And then I'm using the Tarte liner. I forgot what this is called, but I'll pop that in here so you guys will be able to see. It is a gel liner, but it's in a tube. Okay, these are the Ardell Double Ups. I want to say the number is 160, but these are so pretty. Oh my goodness, I love, love, love these babies. All right, and then using Benefit They're Real, and you know, it's kind of like always, start with Benefit They're Real and the Miss Mango Rock. I'm running out of time, so I don't really have time to use the lash primer and everything because they're like saying they're hungry and ready to go. So I'm just kind of speeding this up here. So I always start with the Benefit They're Real, and then I add the Miss Mango Rock, and it really gives it a thicker look. So They're Real is really like a awesome natural effect. And then the Miss Mango Rock is really thickening those lashes up. All right, for the highlight for today, I'm using the MAC Soft and Gentle Skin Finish. Haven't used it in a while, so really want to pull that out. And I absolutely love this. I mean, it works with so many different skin tones. This is a very, very beautiful shade, and it's amazing. So I've kind of put a good bit on. So I'm really just going back and just buffing that out a little bit. I'm taking that right in the inner corners of my eyes as well as along the brow bone. And then I'm using the new MAC liquid lipstick, and this is High Drama. So I line my lips, which you can see I line them with the ColourPop Ellery lip pencil, and then I'm just going in with the High Drama from MAC and finishing off the look. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This, you know, is just a birthday look from me to you, and I wanted to kind of give you guys a full tutorial since I haven't done that in a while. But I hope you enjoyed it, and in the next video will be the contouring video in detail. Thanks guys, see you next time.